Hi guys, I'm live. I just want to do some updates. Sorry if that's boring, but I sometimes feel like I talk my process out with you guys about making these videos, which is me with my actual content of music. At least it processes it for me. Anyway, let me talk about my alternate picking breakthrough I got in 1995, and how that I've just made progress on that today. To me, when I thought of alternate picking, no one taught it to me. I learned it in a dream. There were 3 steps to it. First is just do the picking up, down, or down, up. Then the second step is follow it with the left hand, whether it be not following it and just holding one note and maybe sliding it around, or actually following it one note, one note per pick stroke, which is what I usually do. Then the third step is going from string to string with that. And the neat thing is about what I just made progress on just now is I just now got my head around. I just now got my head around the third step of that, going from string to string. I just now visualized that. So I think that's going to signal improvement in my alternate picking technique. I finally realized that, okay, I get the alternate picking, I get following it with my left hand. Oh, now I understand and get my head around moving it from string to string. I think that might be a slight game changer in my playing. Maybe not. We'll see. And another little update is I got my head around Randy Rhoads. He has been my main influence really since 1987 when the tribute album came out. The year I quit school, quit Harvey Mudd. And I finally got my head around him, so I'm ready for either no influence, or maybe be my own influence, or a new influence. And speaking of new influence, it doesn't even have to be a guitar player. I've been thinking of Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, John Coltrane, jazz saxophone player, maybe Eric Dolphy, he's a jazz clarinet player I like. Maybe even Thelonious Monk, a jazz piano player. I don't know, just anything that strikes me. Maybe Chick Corea, he is a great piano player or keyboard player. I don't know, anything from classic, the Paganini, maybe what's this guy's name? Itzhak Perlman does really great Paganini stuff on violin. That he's alive today. I don't know, just whatever I can latch on to. I mean, lately I've relatched on Van Halen and I kind of processed that some. I latched on to Jim Morrison and processed that. I just recently kind of latched on to Jimi Hendrix, but I just did the Star Spangled Banner and Castles Made of Spanish Castle Magic and Third Stone from the Sun by Jimi Hendrix recently. So there's not a whole lot of stones to Jimi Hendrix, even though I love Jimi Hendrix. Before I go, let me tout about that for a second. There seems to be an issue about who's the greatest rock guitarist that ever lived, Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen. First of all, it wouldn't even have to be those two, but I think that's a common thought. And as tempting as it is to say Eddie's better because he can play better, that's not a good rule to turn to, because then that means Yngwie's better than Eddie because Yngwie can play better than Eddie, but that does not make Yngwie greater than Eddie. It just makes him in a different era. And for my money, even though I love Eddie Van Halen, the dude basically kept everybody playing guitar that played guitar in the 80s playing guitar. He just made that happen, including myself. I think Jimmy was the greatest rock guitarist that ever lived. I just do. I'm sorry to Eddie Van Halen, but if there wouldn't have been a Jimi Hendrix, there very likely would not have been an Eddie Van Halen. Even though Eddie himself talks about Clapton a lot, that doesn't mean that the fact that he doesn't talk about Jimi Hendrix probably means it goes unsaid. It doesn't need to be said. Nobody would be playing guitar today without Jimi Hendrix, and that's a really great thing to have in one single individual. So I'm sorry to put Eddie as number 2 in anything, but I'm afraid that I think Jimi Hendrix is the best rock guitarist that ever lived. And then Eddie, and then maybe number 3. I wasn't planning this, so whatever comes in my head. Number 3 might be a bunch of ties. So it might be Randy Rhoads, it might be Ingrid Malmsteen, it might be Steve Vai, it might be Eric Johnson, it might be Joe Satriani. I think it can all go many directions from there, but I think what's clear enough to me, at least, is that Jimi Hendrix was number 1 and Eddie Van Halen was number 2. Eddie Van Halen literally invented tapping, you know. No, that's a one-off deal in history. You know, no one's ever going to take that from him, and no one else did it, and he's the only one that ever did it. So there's that. So anyway, I'm free floating as far as influence right now. I might even go back to some Alan Holdsworth type stuff. I seem to be thinking about a lot of his theories and stuff, even on talking on these videos. Maybe I'll go backward, because when in '87 I went from Alan Holdsworth to Randy Rhoads, and even my teacher Tom Franks, I think he's a great teacher. So anyway, I approached him and said, I got a new influence. Last he'd heard it was Alan Holdsworth. Guess who it is, Tom? And he guessed like 15 names, and none of them were Randy Rhoads. Finally, he said, what? I said, Randy Rhoads. And he goes, oh, so you took a step back, huh? And I said, Randy's not back. And then he corrected himself and said, sideways, I meant. Well, maybe I'll go sideways again, back to Alan Holdsworth type of stuff. You know, if I didn't like Alan Holdsworth's sound, I wouldn't have been into him for all 3 years of college. I wouldn't have been into him for as long as I was if I didn't feel an affinity for him and love his sound, you know, chord-wise and lead-wise. So, who knows? That might be what I do. Or I might just choose a Mozart, or I might choose Charlie Parker, jazz saxophone player, or whatever. I don't know. But the Randy thing, I think I have my head around it. So there's that. Oh, I want to mention something else. I appreciate you guys watching if you are. The Moderator is going to design, or at least plans on designing. He's getting into studying electronics and stuff. He already knows a lot, but he's studying more to learn more. He's going to make a special shirtless guy pedal for guitar, like an effects pedal. The Moderator is going to design it, and I'm going to put my name on it. I'm going to call it maybe Jimi Sounds, Jime, come on, Jimi, and then Sounds could be Soundz, not S, but Z, whatever, but I'll put my name on the pedal. Hopefully, we'll try to make it, because I was just thinking about this today, talking to the Moderator, in fact. My sound is very elusive, because there's they say the devil's in the details. Well, I could do rig rundowns every day, and there's just details about my equipment and my guitars and everything that just don't just go. They're not expressible, or they don't get expressed, or whatever. And hopefully, what I'm trying to do, me and the Moderator, is make a pedal that you could just stomp on one pedal and try to at least approach getting my sound. And I'll put my name on it, and he'll design it, and we'll split the profits 50-50. I gave him my word about that. And I think it might be cool. I'd love to see the Jimi Sounds pedal in Guitar Center one day. It'd be cool, you know. And then for you guys, yeah, I'll do my best to just make it a one stomp equals Jimi Sound as best I can. Because there's so many micro things, micro meaning small, about guitars and guitar sounds and things that just are hard to duplicate and hard to emulate. And even for me, I don't even know why. I just know what sounds good to me. You know, like the pickup height, the pole piece screws height, multiple, plural, not singular. The action on the guitar, how tight do you tune how tight do you tie how tight do you clamp the strings into the bridge on Floyd Rose systems? You know, do you keep it loose? Do you tighten it? How tight do you tighten the nut on a locking nut? How tight do you tighten the springs or the wheel, in whichever case you have on a whammy bar system? You know, what exact setting you put your amp on. There's just so many micro little things that just couldn't be all covered in a rig rundown, even though it's not a secret like I'm hiding anything. It's hard to emulate all that in one video. So hopefully Matt and I are gonna make this pedal. And I hope you. And I'm another tip of sound. I just thought I'd throw this in there. I flip the switch on the pickups a lot. I go from pickup to pickup a lot. I don't stay on just one pickup position. I'll go between the middle pickup, the bridge pickup, the neck pickup, all 5 positions. Sometimes it's the neck bridge, sometimes it's not neck bridge, the center neck, sometimes it's the center bridge, sometimes it's the center, sometimes it's the neck, and sometimes it's the bridge. That's your 5 settings. I go all around, I go all over the place on it, because a new sound keeps me interested in what I'm playing, keeps me liking what I'm hearing, and makes me play better, I have a feeling, Okay, so I did some updates. I got my head, like I said, I got my head around moving from string to string when I alternate pick. I think that might apply to any other kind of technique of moving from string to string as well, such as tapping. String skipping comes to mind. If I become really good, or I have become or will become really good at going from string to string, why just stop at going from adjacent string to adjacent string? Why not start skipping strings? Why not go from the first string to the third string to the fifth string, or the second string to the fourth string, or the sixth string, or whatever? If that becomes easy to do for me, and I like the sound, well, I can imagine myself skipping all over the place. Why not? Sounds good to me. So is there anything else I want to cover in this? I hate to leave anything out, but I also hate to stand here and act like I'm not saying anything. Let me think. I saw a video that caught me for a second. It fooled me into thinking Ozzy died, but of course it was a hoax, of course, because Ozzy did not die. So there's that. That people will stop at nothing to do whatever they. I don't know. Why would someone do that? Why would someone make that up? I don't know. For what? But whatever. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can think I might want to say while I'm here. You know what? I told the moderator today. I did 3 songs in a 12-hour period, of which was last night and this morning, and the ease that they came off of me, and the relative good quality of my performances, and the way I felt them, and the passion I put into it and felt, stuck on one of those 3 songs, or I wouldn't have done them all 3, or I would have messed up part of it, or I would have needed many more takes, or I don't know. Something's clicking in me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's you tell me. I don't know. I don't know, but something's clicking in me. I might do some more songs tonight and tomorrow. By tomorrow I mean tomorrow morning. I might just brainstorm and just think of whatever I might want to do and to do it. Right now I'm thinking of doing Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, whatever. That's a cool song, People don't do that song enough. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Whatever, and I have a lot of CDs, and that's what they're for. They're for so I can have material at my fingertips. What else might I do? I don't know. Just I might do. I got to comment on this. I'm glad I thought of this. At Guitar Center today, I did 6 shorts, but the last 2 were the talking guitar technique. I don't push things. I wait till things happen naturally, and then I just do them, and that's okay. It came to me to do it today. The Steve Vai's talking guitar thing. I don't call it Steve Vai's talking guitar thing, because first of all, I'm not trying to advertise for him, and second of all, he doesn't have it patented. But if you ask me, I'll say yes, he invented it. But I don't say Eddie Van Halen's tapping technique. I just say tapping. Okay, so I'm not trying to rip off Steve Vai, but I call it the talking guitar technique, and I did a couple of shorts of it, and that came from my Jack in the Box breakthrough, where I figured out I could just make sounds out of the guitar. And of course, one of the sounds we all hear every day, or at least most of us, is people talking. So why not make talking into a sound? I didn't copy Steve's note for note versions of any of that. I just made it sound to me like talking and did my best. So now that's a thing. So I might want to do Yankee Rose, maybe by David Lee Roth, just to highlight my new talking technique ability, that I can do. So maybe I'll do that, or whatever. Maybe I'll do. Maybe in the same vein, maybe I'll do Big Trouble. I haven't done that in a while. My favorite David Lee Roth song. It's got a great Steve Vai solo, or maybe even Shy Boy by David Lee Roth. That's got a great solo too, The Idem Smile was a great album. I mean, it's just too bad to me that the 5150 album by Van Halen, which we call Van Hagar, had to be the #1 album in 1986 because it didn't even come close to David Lee Roth, Idem Smile. It wasn't even on the same roadmap in my book, but whatever. In fact, Eddie went a direction I don't want to go in myself. When he realized he was as good as he was going to get, he prophesied, LOL, that he would just keep getting weirder and weirder and do weird stuff. But the opposite happened. He mellowed out. He started playing love songs, and he started being melodic and phrasing this and that. And he lost a lot of the dynamic of being Eddie Van Halen, you know. And Sammy Hagar helped him to do that, to not be Eddie Van Halen. Sammy Hagar helped him to kind of bring him into a little further toward the mundane reality the rest of us stay in, which is sad because I wanted Eddie to just be the greatest of all time, all the time, not just, you know, and David Roth, Van Halen, that was Van Halen. But, okay, there's that. I'm just talking now. Well, I'm sorry. I'm on my walk home, so is there, you know, what I was thinking about the karaoke thing, getting kicked out of all the karaoke bars. I may not even bother asking ETs anymore if I'm kicked out. I don't really need to do karaoke. I'm just being honest. I'm not being like trying to lash out for any reason. I think karaoke is a waste of my vocal strength. I need my voice for my stuff. When I cover, when I either sing my own songs or sing my covers, I need to save my voice for that, not stretch it out at karaoke, which is dumb and anybody can karaoke. I mean, that I'm not trying to put anybody down, and that's not an absolutely true statement. But basically, what's karaoke? You just stand there to the music and sing to it. Well, it does a good in them kicking me out of that because it took a lot of time. It took you know, strength out of me via by using my vocal cords for that instead of for what's really more important, which is my channel. Plus, no matter what you sing there, you can't get any money for it because it's all copyrighted, because you're playing someone else's music, so it doesn't help me. And it's a blessing in disguise, you know. I don't really like getting kicked out of church. I don't want to go to church. I'm glad I got my conscience is clean, and yet I don't know what I want. You know, I do a men's Bible study now. I got roped into, but hey, it might teach me some things, and I respect the guys that are in it. So I'm doing it every Thursday at 10 every week. Jeez, come on, dude. I mean, you know, the study's enough in like. Anyway, anything to say here? I mean, I love you guys. Peace, rock and roll. Have a great rest of your night.